Good morning. This is Mark Lefebvre from the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District with this week's Conservation Report. First, I'd like to give an update on the Groundwater Protection Rule and the Level 3 mitigation process. So in June of 2019, the Groundwater Protection Rule went into effect in Minnesota. The rule is intended to promote appropriate nitrogen fertilizer best management practices and to involve local farmers and agronomists in adopting the most current science-based and economically viable practices that can reduce nitrate in groundwater. Within the rule, there are 4 mitigation levels. Levels 1 and 2 are voluntary, and levels 3 and 4 are regulatory. As part of this process, the Minnesota Department of Agriculture has partnered with the Stearns County SWCD to meet with farmers managing cropland within the drinking water supply management areas for the cities of Cold Spring and Melrose. These local advisory teams are being formed to help combat the elevated nitrate levels being found in these 2 communities' drinking water supplies. Currently, the teams are providing the Department of Ag with information on how nitrogen is currently being managed within these drinking water supply management areas. The groups will soon be looking at these current practices and see if they can modify in any way to further reduce the amount of nitrogen being lost. The goal is to make sure nitrate levels stay below 10 parts per million in the drinking water supplies, which is the Minnesota Department of Health, what they consider is safe drinking water standard. The next step is that these groups will make recommendations to the Department of Ag on which best management practices or alternative management tools that need to be used on at least 80% of the cropland acres within these drinking water supply management areas. Both communities are currently at mitigation level 2. And we don't want to see them get to level 3, which then becomes regulatory. To help prevent this from happening, the Stearns County SWCD has grant dollars available to help farmers in these areas offset the costs and risks associated with trying something new by adopting any of these different nitrogen management strategies. These practices include cover crops, that include species with high nitrogen sequestering ratings, nutrient management, and irrigation water management. So you can give us a call if you like more information or would like to know if you have land located within these vulnerable drinking water supply management areas. Next, I'd like to give a little update on the carbon and water quality credits, or the ecosystem services. The Stearns County SWCD is partnering with Ecosystem Services Market Consortium, or ESMC, on a pilot project. And this project will test and streamline the creation and sale of environmental credits from farmland for carbon, water quality, and water quantity. This project will provide financial incentives to encourage more farmers to implement practices that help improve soil health, store carbon in the soil, and reduce nutrient runoff from farm fields. This is a unique concept that I think we are fortunate to be part of because it is very cutting edge and could bring some financial benefits to farmers who enroll and agree to adopt practices like no-till and cover crops. To be eligible, enrolled land must have a newly adopted conservation practice to generate a credit, which they're calling additionality. So if a farmer has been no-tilling and using cover crops for several years, that land would not be eligible to generate a credit. Since there aren't buyers of the credits yet for this ESMC project, farmers can enroll if they are planning to make some practice changes and not be tied to a long-term contract, or at least until 2022, when the credits would be offered. At that time, they can decide to sell any credits generated or opt to sell to another company like Indigo Ag or Land O'Lakes or Bayer. Project partners will work with farmers and several ag retailers to test ESMC's market protocols on about 50,000 acres that have corn and soybean cropping systems with a heavy dairy or livestock component. One update from the last time I talked about this on CHASM is that farmers from across most of the state can now enroll, and not just from Stearns County. So ESMC's program will quantify, verify, and certify the ecosystem service benefits of improved nutrient management, soil health, and edge-of-field best management practices. Soil samples for soil organic carbon, bulk density, pH, and phosphorus will be analyzed in the first year and again after 5 years to measure actual changes. In the interim, soil quality and carbon sequestration will be measured using ESMC protocols. The overall strategy for this pilot is to leverage existing cost share and technical assistance that we would offer through our office for funding tools to enroll farmers in the pilot to discover cost efficiencies and ensure accuracy of the ESMC platform. And again, this is a very new project, and since it's a pilot, we will be learning along with the farmers that would enroll. If you have any questions or interested in enrolling, you can call our office at 320-251-7800, extension 3. And finally, from all of us at the Conservation Office here in Wade Park, I'd like to wish all the listeners a Happy New Year. This is Mark Lefebvre from the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District with your conservation report, and thanks for listening this morning.